What's up, TIW Mafia? Dude, I am like when I talk about hashtag TIW Cornerstone, right? We had one last year, JP, right? Like one. And what happened to him?
Blowing up all over AEW. MJF is probably the biggest heel in the business right now.
And we waited specifically for this for Jacob to come on because, dude, you are like hashtag TIW Cornerstone for us, Mr. Jacob Fatu, Major League Wrestling heavyweight champion of the world. And the reason we say that is because guys like you are the cornerstones of promotions, and that's the way the shit goes, man. Welcome to the Irish Whip, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. Hey, brother, listen, you forgot a couple things out there.
I didn't bring up Defy.
Not only MLW heavyweight champion, half of the Defy tag team champions, half of PCW Ultra tag team champions, also my home, All Pro Wrestling, APW heavyweight champion as well, baby.
And you know what? We always have reasons why we do things because I am a huge Defy man living in Montana. I cannot get enough of Matt Farmer and Capitol Hill and everything that you are doing out there in Defy. Plus, PCW Ultra has been around forever, and I'm a huge mark for that. I mean, even back to tape trading days, man. So, for one, thank you for bringing Defy and Matt on the show, and thank you for just hitting PCW Ultra because without that, Ricochet and those boys down there, we would not have what we have in the Northwest, man.
Absolutely, man. It's all love, man. It's all it's just all work in process right now. You know, right now is a definitely good time right now for the business.
I just want to get into the meat and potatoes, man. I really do. Like, it's a dynasty. It is a huge dynasty. Like, there is no other dynasty like it. What is it like being one of the youngest, hottest people talking about waiting for you to see what you're going to do?
Well, you know, man, it's hard, man. You know, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not going to fake the funk like, oh, we were meant for this. I mean, some of us was, but, you know, I mean, I never grew up thinking I was going to do this, you know, but doing this and taking it serious and really going all in, you know, now I understand the sacrifices that my father, the Tonga Kid, my uncles made, my cousins are making right now in WWE. And, you know, for me to come behind that would have having legends behind me and also having, you know, cousins that's active right now on the WWE roster, you know, it's a lot of pressure, man. But, you know, I think I also have more than enough knowledge around me, you know, from the past, present, and the future right now, you know, within my family, you know, just to soak me up, lace me up. You know, I'm just trying to make a way and also make a name. And I just also want the wrestling universe, you know, just to remember me for my work and what I could do and you know, what I was and also what I am capable of doing.
Now, how often do you remind your cousins that you're coming for them?
Man, hey, right before you guys called, I just sent them a group text.
How often that's happening to you?
Yeah.
Hey,
it's good having them. You know, speaking about my cousins out there in WWE, you know, they've also been a very, very big help. You know, with I mean, you know, everybody knows their schedule. They're on the road 24/7, but you know, for them to make time out their day, you know, to reach out to me and also their younger brother and our other little cousin as well, out here in the Independence, you know, it means a lot to us. It really, really does.
I'm gonna quote Matt Farmer. Okay, when we had him on the show, this is what he said. He said
he's an awesome cat, by the way, man. Shout out to Matt Farmer and Jim, man. I'm an awesome cat.
Here's what he said. He said, if you can take Rikishi, you can take the Usos, you can take Umaga, you can take Roman Reigns, you can take The Rock, you can take this, you can take this. He said, if you can mix all those guys together, that is Jacob Fatu.
Wow. You know what? I was going to body slam Matt next time I seen him, but you know, I take that back now. those are are big words, man, and it's actually a very, very big compliment coming from him. So, you know, I mean, with that being said, I mean, man, I'm shocked he said that. You know, I mean, that really, really means a lot.
Now he cannot speak more highly of you, and I think that's really the reason I told Joe, like, I don't know, what was this, a month ago, Joe?
About 6 weeks.
Yeah, about 6 weeks. I said, if there's anybody that we get in 2019, I want Jacob Fatu on the show. And that's why, is because you're all that and your humility. I mean, can you speak just a little bit about that and growing up, the way you've grown up, and how humility and family and just togetherness means to you in your life right now?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm from, you know, my family, starting from the Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika, all the way to the Usos being born. You know, my family, man, we're all actually from Northern California out here, and from San Francisco. I'm actually grew up in Sacramento, California, about an hour and 30 minutes away. But you know, being back and forth and just being around the business period, you know, I mean, I was growing up around it, not even knowing I was growing up around the business, you know, hearing my dad talk on the phone, seeing different promoters, also having, you know, being at the dinner table at a restaurant, having Yokozuna, my father, Rikishi. I mean, not even knowing, like, man, at a young age, like, man, these guys are it. You know what I'm saying? But just growing up around it, and also coming from the street life, you know, that we were raised around, you know, at that time. I mean, man, it's just crazy, man, you know, because when I go out there and I work, not only do I carry the Samoan Dynasty on my back, but, you know, I'm also working for my children, for my wife. You know, I got a couple friends that's locked down that's never coming home. You know, right now we're living out here. They're living in that little 8x10 cell that, you know, that they're in right now. But, man, I'm doing it just for my family, the Samoan Dynasty, but also my friends, man, and also like my friends who ain't here no more. So, you know, coming from there, I mean, I got to stay humble because, you know, I've seen the good. We've seen the good in this business. We've seen the bad. We've seen the success, and we also see the things that also hurt the family in this business. So, you know, there's a lot of, just to touch bases on, you know, like what I said a couple minutes ago about having all this knowledge around me coming from the past, future, and present right now. You know, absolutely, man. It's a working process right now. But, man, it's just sometimes, man, it's just so unreal, you know, thinking about like who I am and what I'm doing, you know. But, man, there's just so much drive in me. And, you know, I've been doing it for 7 years, but honestly, it really just feels like the beginning right now.
Now, when you mention the Dynasty and the family, that's what everyone knows. But, like, what I want to know is if you took the whole Dynasty and put them at a family dinner, I'm going to guess and say there would be no rivalry, but there's going to be. Who in the family, like every family has that matriarch. That
patriarch. You mean patriarch. Oh, yeah, matriarch. Good job. Good job.
That grandmother that would whoop all your asses.
Hey, brother. Hey, Oos, listen, man. You said the right exact thing. It's definitely my grandmother, man, who we're all scared of in the family.
Is it a look? Is it something she says, or is it just a matter of don't? Like, is it like Rafiki in The Lion King?
No, you know what I think. You know what I know for a fact it is. It's just being accustomed to like our culture. You know, it's being just you know, just how the way how we was raised and everything, especially when it comes to our culture. You know, I mean, you know, there's not a, you know, we're the type of people to where when the elderlies come in the house and, you know, the young cats, we're not sitting on the couches while they just walk in. You know, we're getting up, greeting them. You know, it just has a lot to do with, I'm going to be specific, and, you know, the Rock always says it too. It just has something to do with our Fa Samoa culture, man, on, you know, on how we live, how we present ourselves, and also like how we do things.
No. Like what I'm picturing is like you sitting at the dinner table and your grandma walking behind you and smacking you in the head saying, "I can hear you."
Hey, listen, I mean, it's happened to all of us, absolutely, especially the Usos.
Yeah, that's where the whole penitentiary thing came from, I'm sure.
Yeah, we all had our different routes, man. But it seems like our different roads that we're all taking, it's all leading up to one, to one goal, And I think that's what makes us. I think that's what makes us so special, within this family. I mean, man, we all got different roads, we all got different backgrounds, but man, we all hold the same culture, and we also all hold the same name, which is the Anawai family and the Fatu family.
When did you know, like, I want to do this? Not like just because of my family. Like, was it just like you didn't have a choice, or was there a time in your life where you're like, nah, this is me. This is what I'm gonna do.
Well, you know what it was, man. When I was fresh 18, man, and you guys are actually the first people who are actually, where I'm gonna say this comfortably. I actually got locked up, man, when I was fresh 18, and I was looking at some time, but when everything was cool and settled, while I was inside of while I was sitting down doing my time, I was flipping through the channels, and who do I see? Who the fuck do I see on there? I see my cousin the Usos against the Heart, with Tamina at that time when they first came in, and they were doing a run-in on Davey Boy Smith Jr., Tyson Kid, and Natalia. And, I'm sitting there just like, oh, man, popping. Oh, that's my family. That's my family. But, really, after I got done watching them, when I went to go lay back on my bunk, I'm like, damn, man, what the, I didn't know. I had no plans on doing anything when I got out. And I just always thought to myself, like, damn, man, maybe I should try it. Oh, nah, maybe I shouldn't, because I didn't want to get looked at, like as, which is everybody probably thinks, oh, you came from the family, the Samoan Dynasty, it was easy to get in. No. It actually wasn't. I didn't get no special treatment. I didn't get no treat, just because who I was, it was just going to slide through. No, absolutely not. So when I had got out, I moved down there to Los Angeles, and that's where my uncle Rikishi, Gangrel, and my other uncle, the Count of California, Black Pearl, Reno, on Hawaii, they had a wrestling school out there in Los Angeles called Knox Pro Academy. I moved out there with my wife, and my uncle Rikishi's son, he's no longer training, but Rikishi had another son who was training at the time. He gave me a call. I was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I know you're out here. I'm out here too. Pops and them got a school. Won't you go come by and give it a try? I'm like, nah, man, it's cool. But, man, he just kept bugging me. So one day, man, I spent my last, $23, $25 on the train ticket, and I went out there, took the train out there from Orange County all the way to Los Angeles by Burbank. And when they actually picked me up, believe it or not, I told them what I wanted to do. They didn't want to train me at first. And, the whole reason why was because, they had to really, really make sure that I wasn't going to get no special treatment at all. They really had to sit down, and I really had to sit down and really think about it. So, man, I went home the next day, sat down for about a week, and I made my mind up. And I didn't think it was going to be hard, I thought it was, okay, it's good. I grew up in it. I knew. No, I had no fucking clue how hard this shit was going to be. So, man, that's when I learned how to respect it. My first day of training, well, actually my first week, my first day of training, though, man, I learned how to respect the business. And I really, it just really took a toll on my body. But, man, just that feeling, I don't know, man. It's just something about that feeling, being in the ring, taking those bumps, being blown up, but still got to go, The feeling was just addicting, man. And after the first week, I finally knew, like, okay, I'm all in. I'm all in with this.
How I always say this, and everybody asks me, like, how do you learn? How do you gain knowledge? What's the key? And I've heard it other places, and I don't know where it's quoted, but it's always fail forward fast. Do you think, like you just stated, you opened up and you're giving us the opportunity to ask the questions, and I just want to know, man, was that your fail forward fast moment, sitting there by yourself and contemplating what you're doing? I mean, you got probably a wife at the time, family, and What did that do? What is that kind of where this drive came from?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, I was raised from a good family. My parents were, until this day, my parents are still married. They did. My dad, the Tonga Kid, he for sure couldn't read or write, but knowing him, just like I said, earlier, growing up around the business, just seeing and hearing my dad always hustling, always getting the book and always staying busy, staying active, So having just to see how my father had really grinded for us, not having no education or not having no plan B, that also like really made me drive too. Cause man, if my father could do it without no job until now and still grind and still put food on the table, there was something that I wanted to get back get back to my children as well. I just wanted to get back to my children, but also, rather than give it back, like this was actually a dream. And, I just really, really fell in love with it. I always loved the business. I always loved it because I grew up around it. But man, once I really start taking it serious and really start grinding, man, absolutely. It was a grind for everything. It was a grind for everything that my parents didn't have back then. It was a grind for everything that I want my children to have that, that I didn't have. It was a grind for the hard life that my wife had growing up to where I wanted her to forget about all that, So absolutely, man. And, having the family and the children and, also living my dream, hell yeah, it's definitely a drive.
The Samoan culture, I know we talk about matriarchs and mothers, but the bigger pillar, especially when you're talking about just one-on-one, is always the father and the son when it comes to the Samoan culture. How important, as far as kids, being a pro wrestling father, how difficult is that, man?
Oh, you know what? Well, for right now, right now it's kind of, it won't be as difficult as it will be, once I get somewhere, once I actually make a final decision to go on wherever. But for right now, yeah, it's kind of hard right now because all my children are in sports and most of my boys are. So, I'm here during the practice time, but I'm not here during the game times. But, at the end of the day, when my children get older, they're definitely going to thank me. They're definitely going to thank me and definitely be proud and definitely understand, they're definitely going to understand the sacrifices that I've been making ever since they were young, all the way till they get older.
We just keep rolling, man. It's just you're natural at this. You're just natural.
You're amazing.
Hey, man, where's the other two guys, man? They seem really quiet back there.
Oh, I'm right here, man. You're flowing. I'm letting you rock and roll.
This is what we do.
I want to jump back a little bit to where when and I want to thank you for trusting us to give us that information, that little story about your past. I want to thank you for trusting us. That hits me in the heart. And I want to tell you, because from personal experience, great people can sometimes make mistakes. It doesn't change who you are. It's just another step to get to where you need to be.
Absolutely. And another thing is, I was always taught to speak up. So, if there is anybody who's listening, out there who has, who's actually, been incarcerated or anything, to let them know, like, just because that one small, stop in your life, like that's not it, like anything's possible, man. And also, like, it's never too late to do anything.
Absolutely.
Never too late to do anything.
And Josh and I both advocate for things such as depression and PTSD and people going through a rough time. So, like, hearing that built right into the program of what we're trying to accomplish by reaching out to people who normally won't ask for that hand.
Absolutely.
Jacob, how important is it to? There's going to be a lot of people that will listen to this, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be hearing what you stated for the first time. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say he's there, like he's literally probably has offers in front of him. And I don't want you to divulge or discuss or anything. Like we don't even really care. What I'm interested in is, when you're looking at progressing your career, what's important for you when and if you ever get to make that decision?
Man, well, first off, Booker T told me something. Booker T said, if there's anything, that he could lace me up with is my reputation. And, my reputation is everything. That means making shows and doing things on time and, just communication with everything. But, man, when it comes time for that decision, it's really just the best move for my family, for my character, for the Samoan Werewolf, for Fatu, and also for the fans as well. So I think it has a lot to do with a little bit of everything, just a little bit of everything, So the next big decision, man, which is going to come probably like in another year or maybe if not a year, maybe 2 years, maybe if not a year, maybe tomorrow, like you never know. But I think my reputation, man, should definitely hold weight on it. And, I'm just taking a little bit from a little bit everywhere, everything that I was taught, man, from knowledge all the way to family, all the way from the business, all the way from the streets, So, yeah, that's definitely what I'm going off of, brother.
How heavy did your family name weigh into everything with you, from coming out of your past, and thinking of the family, going into wrestling? Because you said earlier, like, you didn't have it easy getting into wrestling. And I know for a fact that when you're wrestling close friends, you really lay into each other. How bad is it when you're actually wrestling family?
Man, it's a, well, I know for me, it's definitely always an honor to share the square circle, with my family, whether it's my cousin, my uncles, my father, my brother. I mean, it's definitely an honor, when we all share the ring. But, speaking on the side note, like with us being in there together, working each other, I mean, hey, man, it's balls to the wall, brother. Like, we going all in, we ain't holding back nothing, So, I think that's what kind of makes it really fun, though, as well. So,
Are you laying into them heavier than you're laying into someone else?
Oh, absolutely. Hell yeah. Absolutely. No, I'm just joking. You know what, man? Hey, brother, listen, I work, and I can speak for this, like, coming from me, for myself. I work the same everywhere, whether it's anywhere. I don't give a damn what promotion we are, because I was taught one way and one way only. So, it's not even just my family. It's just everyone I work, period. Like, it's just always the same work ethic. So,
I'm up in New England, and I can tell you up here, the Samoans, Samu, and them, they all have like such a great reputation up here, man. It's an honor to get to talk to you.
Man, my uncle Samu, man, he's awesome, man. I think he's underrated. I think he was the best Samoan running spot to spots. And, I mean, his damn drop kick was unbelievable. His kick, I mean, man, he was awesome when it came to psychology. And, just to be around. And, like, my Uncle Sam is a perfect example, of knowledge. I don't really get that much time with him. But when I do, man, I'm sitting down, and, I always tell him, too, like, hey, Uncle, listen, I'm sorry, I'm going to get on your nerves, but I'm going to ask you everything, because I want to know, God forbid anything happens to him or me or, for instance, I'm going to go and see him this weekend. I'm actually going out there to Philadelphia, Allentown, Pennsylvania, to go see him this weekend. And, that's another thing I'm looking forward. But, man, my uncle, the great Samu, man, he's underrated, man, and I love him so much. And, man, he's just a very, very big part of the Samoan dynasty, man, that doesn't get enough credit. So, man, shout out to the great Samu, man.
What's next at MLW for you? Are you going right at Tom Lawler?
I'm sorry, say it again, brother?
What? MLW, Major League Wrestling. What's next in the plans for you guys there? What do you have planned there?
You know what I have planned at MLW is just to be the greatest heavyweight champion over there in Major League Wrestling. I mean, man, there's been so many greats that done held this title. But on the side note, I'm also with Contra Unit. My brothers, brothers like no other. with Josef Samael, Gotch. We actually got a new young Uso headed over there, that's a part of the squad. But, I definitely want to be remembered, and we definitely want to leave our stamp and our mark as Contra unit. I wrestle by myself now. I got the heavyweight belt, but that's not just for me. That's for me and the whole goddamn Contra unit, all the Contra fans out there, every city we go, all the fans holding up the Contra flags out there. I mean, man, this is definitely a group that has been put together, And, another, on the side note, I think what makes us so special as well is we all come from different backgrounds. We're all not the same worker, So I think that's what makes us, like, very unique and very special. So being there at MLW, like, the next plans for the future is to hold on to this goddamn belt as long as I can and keep kicking ass with my brothers, the Contra unit.
What are your? I'm gonna kind of throw out some names here, just randomly. They're not going to be family, so don't worry. But they're going to be names you're probably familiar with in MLW, and maybe just kind of talk about them if you can, if that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian Pillman Jr.
Oh, Brian Pillman? Oh, man. Shit, but besides that awesome haircut he got, man, he a cool cat, man. He a cool cat. Brian's cool, man. And just to touch bases on B, it's everybody know who his father is and where his family come from. So I think for me, being in the same coming from the same family and everything, to be a second generation or a third generation, I think is real awesome, man. To see him every month, see him progressing every month, and just see him, also just trying to hold that lineage and hold that name as well. Just going out there and keep working and keep kicking ass out there. And bro, just to touch bases on Brian Pillman Jr. And this is another thing that MLW holds. Brother, they're bringing in so many of us from all these great families, and we're all on one show, one network. So, I think that's awesome, man, for MLW and Court Brower and them. To give us young cats, a chance on a very, very big stage.
Anytime I hear Tony Schiavone behind the microphone, it's always fun for me. He's always been that voice that I've identified when I've watched professional wrestling or sports entertainment, whichever you prefer.
Yeah. No, you're right. If there is definitely some voices I can definitely recall on as growing up on commentary, Tony Schiavone will be one of them. And, of course, Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. But, yeah, definitely.
What about Selena De La Renta?
Oh, man, she's awesome, man. She's awesome. I mean, she's a hardworking young female. And, I'll tell you this right now, man, she ain't scared to really speak her mind. And, man, she's been cutting awesome fucking promos lately. So, just if y'all don't know about her, then y'all better step your game up, man, to do some homework on her. But that's sis, though. Absolutely, man. That's sister right there.
How about Josef Samael?
Shit, I mean, brother, if y'all don't want to spike to the head or a fireball to the face, then y'all definitely better, y'all definitely better get to know my brother. But you know what? On a side note, with Josef Samael, he's been a very, 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 very big help in my success this year. And not even just this year. It's pretty funny. A funny story. Me and Joseph, we actually got into it. When we first met, we weren't budging on nothing, on prices, creativity, on nothing. But, man, we're just alpha dogs, man. And you know what? That's really, really my brother, man. And I really got a lot of love for him. He's done way more than unexpected. He's went out his way to do everything for me. And, man, the love with him is unconditional. And I'm just so, outside of the family, well, I wouldn't say outside of the family because, I really consider him family. It's not just my tag partner. It's not just somebody who I hold belts with. It's not somebody who I just travel with. I mean, man, his knowledge is unbelievable. And, man, just to be underneath his wing, man, you know, at this age and this level where I'm at right now and everything that man has accomplished, you know, within the business. I mean, man, it's just the love is unconditional with him. So, you know, besides all the wrestling in the business, man, you know, I really got love for the brother.
How did Contra come about?
Man, Contra came about fucking, what was it? January. Yeah, Contra came about January, man. We showed up to the building, and, you know, Gotcha's actually from out here in Northern California, Santa Rosa. So, you know, I heard some things about him. I also used to see him travel with my cousin, the Usos and stuff. But Contra came about, man, in Philadelphia. I think it was Super Fight, Philadelphia. We were there, but we didn't end up getting aired on TV, you know, over some other stuff. But you know what? I think because we didn't get aired in Philly, you know, before we went to Chicago for the Cicero Stadium when we had that little riot, you know, I think timing is everything. Timing is everything in this business, also in life. So, man, Contra actually came together in Philadelphia, you know, and I don't know, man. It was weird, man. It was crazy because, you know, me and Joe, like, we were already linked in and, you know, we were just me and Gotch and everything, showing them love. But, you know, Gotch has a great personality. He also has a great mind for wrestling. And that's another cat who's also not scared to, you know, speak his mind. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like I said, we all got different backgrounds, but it's just working, man. The shit just works, you know. I mean, you can see us on TV, you can see us on YouTube, you can see us on BN Sports, you can see us on there. But, you know, man, we're actually a live act. You know, if you guys really want to get that feeling of War Beast or Contra Unit, man, you know, you guys really have to be there live to really witness this thing.
Well, JP, I know you got another one. Go. You got to go.
No, I'm go ahead.
What? 8XGP. You guys were just up there in Defy for the 8XGP. What is, like, if you can compare crowds, you travel, you go places, you do things. What's a Defy crowd compared to where you're at on a regular basis?
Oh, you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, it's off the hook. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, being around legends like Super Crazy and hearing other cats, you know, man, just like for instance, Super Crazy and also my Uso Tonga, which is the son of the great Haku. I mean, these are guys that have been all over, you know, and you know, for them to feel the same way I'm feeling about Defy and also about the crowd is fucking unbelievable. I mean, brother, listen, have you guys ever been to a show when the ring announcer walks out, he gets just as big as a pop, just like any other worker? I mean, man, this thing is crazy over there. You know, I mean, man, they show love. They give everything they got. They're involved with everything. I mean, from the start to the finish. You know, other shows, you know, you have a couple matches, crowd tends to die down. You got to bring them back up. No, motherfucker, these cats are grinding. These fans, this crowd, the Seattle crowd, the 206, the Tacoma crowd, same thing. You know, they're just off the hook, man. They're unbelievable. You know, Super Crazy. I was actually in the car with him right after the second night of the show. He said that crowd really reminds him of an ECW crowd. Now, coming from that cat who's been in ECW, I mean, man, that just got to, you know, that puts a lot of weight on it, period.
Yeah.
It does. And I guess just being up here in the Northwest and you're West Coast guy. It's just West Coast things. And these two are out there hanging out in Massachusetts. They can go to a show every day of the week if they want to. Meanwhile, out here in the Northwest, we kind of starve, and I think that's why with Matt Farmer and Steve Miggs comes out there and announces, right? Is that Steve? I think that's Steve.
Yeah, Steve. You know, Steve. I spent a little time with Steve, but I just seen a video of him working. He did a run-in. Like, I don't know if he was a worker, but brother, he definitely looks like a worker.
Huh.
He's had a few matches.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, brother,
he's had a few matches.
I could definitely say this about Defy crowd, and you know, I was just back home telling my wife and telling my brother and my brother-in-law and them, the fucking man, brother. If I think for every independent worker or any worker that Matt Farmer and them brings into Seattle, I mean, not only are they going to have a great match, but, you know, the plus side is being in front of that crowd. I mean, bro, I'm getting goosebumps talking about them right now because, I mean, my first time being with Defy was in Tacoma. And then from Tacoma to come back at their home, Washington Hall in Seattle, I mean, bro, it's just the same. They got a great following. They got good cats over there. They also got a very, very good team over there as well. You know, like I'm talking about with the camera guys, the photographers, you know, cats that's helping setting up the ring. I mean, man, these guys have a good product over there, and they got a good team over there. But the crowd is just unbelievable. I really can't wait to go back in August.
So when you head back in August, is there, is there a specific place that Shaft calls you guys fly-in guys? Just so you know.
Yeah.
Is there like a? is there a place you guys? Is there like when you go to Philly, there's cheesesteaks, right? That you it's what it is. You either go one place or the other. Is there any place in Seattle, since you're going out there, that's kind of like that?
Where that's kind of like Philadelphia?
No, like
hang out.
Yeah, or
is there a place you have to go to get something to eat?
What's the must see?
Yeah.
Oh, man, brother. Okay, coming from me because I'm Samoan. You know, man, there's a Samoan shop out there. You know, out there in Kent, Washington. You know, it's out there in Kent. But you know, man, just I love hitting up the authentic Samoan spots out there. Absolutely, man. You know, I love going over there because, man, my people show me love. They're so proud to see a young Polynesian, you know, cat like myself just doing my thing out there. And, you know, for my people to come buy tickets, support the show, also support me, buy merch, you know. I mean, man, I love just to give right back to my people as well. So absolutely, man. There's a Samoan shop out there called Poly Design out there. It sounds like a clothing shop place, but it's actually a Samoan food place. So absolutely, man, I love to go out there to Seattle. That's actually one of the other reasons why I love going out there.
the food.
Hell yeah.
Well, you wrestle up here in Boston. We'll make sure we get you some food.
Yeah, let's rock. Hey, listen, see, we love mayonnaise on everything. You know, we love best food mayonnaise. It was crazy. I was on XM series over there with Bubba Ray, and he asked about the mayonnaise thing because, you know, he used to travel with my uncle Umaga, and it was pretty funny hearing that. But absolutely, brother, you get some food, man. We'll have some mayonnaise, man. Absolutely, man. It's all love.
Listen, we'll take you off for some Chinese food so you can tell your family you've been to Kowloon's up here.
All right, let's do it, baby. Let's do it, Oos.
Now, my next question for you is one I try to ask everybody. Legendarily, out of the world of wrestling, who's the one person you wish you could face in the ring?
Man, recent, like right now, or
no?
Legend, or is anybody period?
Anybody period that's ever been in the ring. Who was the one person that like you would say to yourself, man, I'd like to step in the ring with him or her?
Man, you know what? Without a doubt, and we watched this man growing up, and my cousins got the chance to wrestle him and his brother, and we just been a big fan. And you know what? I think he also has a very, very big part to do with our high flying, man, is Jeff Hardy.
Nice.
Jeff Hardy.
Man, you know
Jeff
what's
Hardy
crazy?
would definitely be the one.
Jacob, you know what's crazy about his name is that when we came back and we did this, Amber O'Neal brought up Jeff Hardy and Shane Helms. So it is just amazing how many times Jeff Hardy just comes up in the conversation.
Absolutely. Hey, man, listen, Jeff, man, I'll tell you for a fact. Obviously, like, our family is big into tag teams, right? You know, you got my cousin Usos, you got the Samoan Dynasty, you know, the Alpha was the Wild Samoans. But, man, brother, Jeff Hardy, man, there's been times, man, where we sat down, because you got to remember, Jeff Hardy and his brother, they was around that time, too, when my uncle Rikishi, you know, they was all in that Attitude Era doing that thing. So, man, that was a plus watching him, man. Man, we love the Hardy Boys, brother. Absolutely. They have a very, very big, and, you know, I'm pretty sure my cousin Usos feel the same way, man, because we all used to sit down and watch him. You know, Jeff Hardy, man, he's like, that motherfucker, he was like a goddamn idol to us, man, back in the day. I mean, he's still going. He's still relevant. So, man, hell yeah, Jeff Hardy will definitely be one of the cats, man. I will, if I had one chance, it definitely would be him.
That
That's
chance might be
amazing.
coming up soon.
That's just amazing.
Now, you mentioned earlier, too, that you got a group text with your cousins. Were you bragging to them that you were going to be on the Irish Whip?
Nah, brother, I wasn't. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I didn't do that though, man. I'm sorry. I didn't
What an asshole!
Put it over like that.
Hey,
what an asshole!
Somehow.
What an asshole! Hey, man, from the bottom of my heart, man, we don't want to take too much of your time. It's been 45 minutes, man. I just appreciate you sharing your story, and it's humbling for us. Not just because, like, we've had Fergal Devitt, JP and Joe had Fergal Devitt on when he first did his U.S. tour over here over a decade ago. So when we get a chance to have somebody like you on here, it's one of those nights where we go, I'm going to remember this night, and I'm not going to forget it.
Thank you.
And so
thank you.
Man, it's humbling on our end because you don't do this very often. And you took your time out of your day to do it for us, and man, from the bottom of our heart, it's appreciated.
Like my son is a wrestling fan, and I can't wait for him to look at the TV and say, "Dad, he was on your show."
Thank you. I really highly appreciate that, and on the side note, man, I'm just a young cat, man, still learning, still soaking game up. And it's never too late to learn. And man, I just say this humbly and respectfully, man. Just thank you guys for everything, for real. Just thank you. I really appreciate you guys.
That's the next T-shirt right there. # soaking the game up.
Right on. Hey, listen, man. Listen, as soon as you make those, man, I'm gonna send you my address, man. I'm gonna need a couple of those.
Hell yeah, man. We'll send them right out.
Absolutely. Now,
hey, man.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Okay, man. On Instagram _Samoan _Werewolf. On Twitter, it's Samoan Werewolf. On Facebook, Jacob Fatu. If you guys want my shoot phone number, then just DM me, and then I'll send out a real price or some, for a small cost over there. It's all good.
No, merchandise online anywhere?
Absolutely, MLW and Pro Wrestling Tees. You guys can get War Beast shirts of me and Sheik out there doing our thing at PCW Ultra, and MLW Contra Unit shirts and Fatu shirts as well.
There you go, guys. Check this guy out. He is going to be one of the next things coming out of the independents that you guys see.
He's going to be
again
all
from the bottom,
like a bad rash.